Welcome to your new C# Windows Forms application. You type a number, hit guess, and the game instantly tracks your total attempts while giving you feedback on your accuracy. If a user mashes the keyboard, entering random letters, symbols, or nothing at all, the program detects the error and displays a friendly warning message instead of crashing to the desktop. Over the next 6 minutes, we are going to build this exact application from scratch. We will focus on how to track the game's data and how to handle unpredictable input without breaking the system. To follow along, all you need is Visual Studio open with a brand new blank.net Windows Forms app ready to go. Writing code that works when users do exactly what they are told is a start. Building a system that survives when they do the opposite is the goal. Let's get started. Step 1 is setting up our interface. Over on the left side of your screen, you will find the Toolbox panel, which holds all the pieces we need to populate this blank form. Go ahead and drag a few standard controls onto the canvas. We need a couple of labels, a text box for their guess, and a button to submit. By default, Visual Studio names these elements things like Button 1 and Label 2. Leaving them this way makes your code difficult to navigate, because the names don't describe what they actually do. To stay organized, we apply a consistent prefix naming structure. Use TXT for inputs, BTN for actions, and LBL for text displays. Treating your interface as a strictly named map keeps everything clear and predictable when writing the underlying logic. With the interface built, press F7 or select View Code to open the Forms Code Behind file. Before we write any logic, we have to talk about variable scope. Class-level variables live as long as the application is open, while local variables inside a specific task are discarded as soon as it's finished. Declaring the attempt counter inside the button click is a mistake. As a local variable, it evaporates, resetting your progress constantly. Instead, declare these variables and your random number generator at the overarching class level to ensure they survive between clicks. Defining these state variables at the class level grants your application a stable memory that holds firm across every user interaction. Now we can wire up our button. Head back to the Visual Designer and double-click your Submit button to generate the Click Event Handler method. There is a mismatch here. The user's input from the text box is a text string, but our game needs an integer for the comparison math. Using standard tools like convert.to to int32 will work if the user is perfect, but if they enter a letter or blank space, the conversion fails and causes a crash. Instead, we use the int.tryparse method inside an if statement. This protective gate tests the input. A valid number travels the green path to be processed. If it's invalid, it diverts to an orange error path, safely skipping the math. You can then use the else block to handle that false return. We update the feedback label's text property to explain that a number is required, preventing a crash. By catching invalid data early, you shift the application from a fatal error to a simple managed instruction for the user. With the input verified, we place our core game logic strictly inside the successful block of the tryparse conditional. First, take the class-level attempt counter and increase it by 1. Then, update the attempts label on your interface so the user can see their progress. Next, write a simple if, else tree to compare the parsed guesses against the secret target number. Set the feedback for each branch. Tell them if it's too high, if they were too low, or if they hit the target. By connecting validated input to persistent variables, you've created a functional, interactive loop that responds safely to every click. Now for the final step. Hit the Start button at the top of Visual Studio to build and run your application. Type in a number and click Guess. The labels update instantly, and the attempt counter stays accurate with every click, preserving your progress as intended. Now type a word into the box and hit Submit. The feedback label displays your warning message, proving your logic handles unexpected input correctly. Now that you have this foundation, try adding a New Game button. You'll need to reset the counter, generate a new target number, and clear the existing text fields. Organizing your interface, controlling variable scope, and validating raw input all allow you to build software that handles real-world usage. These are the core mechanics that keep an application functional and stable.